Hello there and warm greetings once again to chess lovers. Today I want to explain 3 tactics to you, though it will probably be just one main tactic in this video. The next videos will cover the other tactics, the double attack, checkmate, and the arrow check, or what. Today we're focusing on the double attack in detail, along with the attack on a single file. The double attack has 3 parts: piece attacking piece, king, and piece. And we are focusing on the piece. We start from the simplest situations. Now we move forward. The double attack is especially exciting when it's done with a powerful knight. It is important to look closely at the image. When the knight attacks a piece, that piece usually can't capture the knight back. That's exactly why its strategic attacks are always effective and useful in the double attack, as it's often called. The fork works very well, and pawns are great too, even though they have a much more limited range. When they attack a piece, those pieces usually have to move away because the pawn has less range, and they attack them, and pawns also play a very good role in the double attack. The queen, rook, and bishop, because they attack from a distance in a double attack, since you can attack pieces from afar and it might not be noticed. They have a remarkably high range. Let's start from a simple low level and move up to an intermediate level. Let me explain it to you. Let's look at the first example. In this game, it's white's turn and they want to execute a double attack with one of their pieces. As you can see, you need to choose a square that can threaten 2 of your opponent's pieces at the same time. The d5 square both puts the king in check and attacks the rook simultaneously. After this move, the opponent is forced to get out of check and we capture a rook. Next example, in the following example, again it's a double attack with check. It's white's turn and the white queen needs to move to a square where it can capture the rook. The queen moves. Look here, as I said, the queen forks and the opponent might fall into this trap. That's why the queen's double attack is so fascinating, because it can be both horizontal, like giving check now, or diagonal, attacking the rook. It's really interesting. This is one example. Let's move on to the next case, which is the fork, and see it with the knight. Now the black knight can move to this specific square. This is also a check, and the piece comes to this square. At the same time, it is simultaneously checking the king and attacking the rook. Neither of them can easily escape this powerful fork. In these situations, whenever the knight is threatening a piece, they can't capture it. Once the king moves, the rook is lost. Let's continue. In this example, we used a pawn, which, when it attacks pieces, it almost always has a guaranteed result, because the opponent is naturally forced to escape. Here, the pawn advances forward. At the same time, both the king and the bishop are under attack. Let's move on to the next part. In the next part, there is no check involved anymore. You are supposed to attack 2 pieces at the same time. In this position, it's white's turn to play and wants to get ahead with a piece, to get an advantage with a piece. How can white capture the queen in a single move? On the square that is attacked by both of these pawns, this happens. This is called a double attack, attacking 2 pieces at once. Let's look at the next example. In the next example, the situation becomes a bit more complex. Please pay much closer attention to this one, as it is a technique you can frequently apply in your own games. Now, what exactly do we do with the checkmate and the piece? We place the piece somewhere that on the next move threatens checkmate, and from the other side it captures the piece. It's really quite interesting. Here in this position, it's black's turn to play, and black moves their rook right here. Look, it is sitting on the c3 square. Now, why exactly does this happen? Well, it is because we're currently attacking the white bishop over on a 3. With this move, we're simultaneously attacking the bishop on a 3 and creating a checkmate threat on the c3 square. It's really interesting. If they don't see the checkmate, they'll actually get checkmated if they try to move their bishop away. It's better, in fact, to prevent the checkmate, for example, by moving their king. Here, immediately after the move is made, black should block the rook's entry. And now the bishop is yours for the taking. Let's move on to the next example. In this specific example, once again, you're supposed to go for checkmate while also capturing pieces. Attack, take a very good look at the board. Black's current position is such that they have a rook available, which is in the so-called rook's paradise. The second and seventh ranks are the rook's paradise. If your opponent's rooks are placed on those ranks, they can launch continuous and exciting attacks. The king's path is completely blocked. They simply don't let it advance. It's really quite fascinating. Here, Black makes an incredibly interesting move, bringing the queen to the g5 square. At the same time, Black is threatening mate on g2 and attacking the rook on h7. We call this specific tactic a double attack. Let's go for a checkmate with a piece. Let's watch the next part. In the following example, we've made things a bit more advanced. So what's the story? Look, guys, this one is more advanced. In this kind of position, there are more moves, or the position is more complicated, and it becomes harder for you to see things. The simpler the position, the easier it is to spot things. In this example, as you can see, Black, or rather White, has a developmental weakness. The bishop on c1 hasn't been developed yet. Here you can make a really clever and strategic move. We position our queen on e5, and at the same time, we're both creating a threat and launching a direct attack. We capture the rook. A more advanced example in the fork section would be this position. For example, tell me, what would you do here, Mohsen? We want here, in this position, Black is behind, so it would be great if he could actually capture the white queen. It creates a very interesting tactic. He puts his bishop on g4, and then, in fact, the queen is inevitably forced to be captured. If he captures the bishop with the queen, now we perform an attractive fork, and in 2 moves, we capture the white queen. I've put our final, more advanced example in this position for you. If you'd like, pause for a moment and try to solve this position. It's really interesting and fascinating. Now look, in this position, if I want to put the queen right away to the square c6 and make a double attack, because at the same time, I'm giving check and attacking the rook. It's a double attack, but it's not effective. Why? Because the queen is defending the rook, so it's not beneficial at all. So what do I do in between? I make an extra move here so I can execute this good double attack. First, queen to h38 check, and he's forced to block with the queen. Now here, since the defending piece has been removed, I place the queen, moving the knight to c6, at the same time delivering a check and attacking the rook. The king moves aside and we capture the rook. More examples of double attacks will be in the upcoming post. I'm going to set up a game from the world champion for you. The music was really exciting. Well, that was it. We'll cover more advanced and challenging examples of our exciting double attack. In the next post, I'll explain them to you through World Champion games, so make sure to watch. Also, there's something else I want to tell you. If you want to be able to do this in your own games, to perform more double attacks, you need to practice and solve a wider variety of examples of double attacks in different situations and various sections. You should definitely do this if you would like to actually have these examples ready in your mind. You can message me on my Instagram page. Send me a DM and I'll send them to you. Wishing you all the best with your time. Stay successful.